So, good morning. I want to add my welcome to Karen's. My name is Jessie Ford. I use gender-neutral pronouns, and I serve FOOF as your Unitarian Universalist ministerial intern. And I just want to say, whoever you are, wherever you are from, however you arrived, we're glad that you're here this morning. Today's service is a little different than usual. We're going to begin with some shared singing of Christmas carols. That's going to take up a lot of the service because there's also commentary. And we're going to notice the words we're singing. So you'll want to make sure you have that all-important list of words in handy when we start. And now I'd like to invite our president, Judy Plummery, to light the chalice with Don.
This chalice lighting is called The Persistent Flame by Amy Brooks. Even as the days grow shorter and our homes shrink smaller and our wicks burn lower and our will to endure flickers, we light this chalice to kindle a flame of warmth as a reminder of the connection that draws us in to a community that opens us up. In gratitude for the breath in our lungs and the love in our hearts, for the gift of this day alive.
Oh.
So, to celebrate the connection that draws us into this community and opens us up to gratitude for the breath in our lungs, I invite you to turn to singing as you are willing and able. Now, don't jump to your feet. The idea here is you can stand, you can sit, whatever's comfortable to you as you belt out the carols in whatever manner you choose. So we're going to start with Deck the Halls, and I'm going to talk just a little bit about it. It's a 16th century Welsh melody, and the words were written by a Scottish musician, Thomas Oliphant. It's kind of sort of like Come Come, whoever you are. It's kind of an ingathering song, or could be used in that way. One that calls people to prepare the space for Yule, right? Which technically is not the same thing as Christmas, but rather in northern places is one of the ancient names for the winter solstice, which is the longest night of the year. And it happens about 4 days before Christmas, so there was a sort of a strategic placement of a Christmas festivity near the winter solstice that was widely celebrated among pagan cultures throughout Northern Europe, anyway. In this way, when it talks about the new year, what it really means and what it's really referring to is the new solar year, which starts the day after, when the new day is 3 seconds longer. It's like, don't blink. And I find it really interesting that the song suggests using holly to deck the halls, which is really prickly, but very abundant and a fast-growing plant of Northern Europe. So I prefer cedar myself. It's kinder and also more local. So let's go ahead with Deck the Halls with boughs of holly. Stand or sit as you feel most comfortable. So, up, down, down, sit, down, sit, stand. Go ahead, Chuck, bring us in.
Our
change of mood. The next song we're going to sing, the next carol, is a story about a time when people sitting quietly under a tapestry of stars on a clear night heard music emerging from the stillness. A music that turned their thoughts to the possibilities of peace and kindness among human beings, despite all that had gone before and all that was still happening. So it's a really good song for this year, I think.
Yes.
The poem was written in 1849 by the Unitarian minister Edmund Sears, and it was quickly set to music by the person he asked, Richard Willis. It's based on a passage from the Christian Gospels that appear in the New Testament, Luke 2:14, if you're into those kinds of references, in which a host of angels is said to appear to shepherd, telling of the birth of Jesus in Bethlehem. But here's the thing, this carol doesn't pay any attention to Bethlehem. It's not about Bethlehem. It's important to notice that because it's believed that the poem was Sears's response from his heart to the contemporary wars of his time, including the revolution in Europe and the U.S. Excuse me. I shouldn't say it. The U.S. war of aggression against Mexico, which resulted in the U.S. having the whole western part of the U.S. Okay, so that's what was on Sears's mind, and he felt that people were simply not paying attention to the central message. And what is that central message?
Peace on earth.
Peace on earth.
That's right. Glory to God in the highest, and on earth peace and goodwill, which we can also conceive of as kindness to men. It's something that all people over all time yearn for. So as we sing, consider, have you ever heard music in the stillness of a clear night? What did it bring forth in you, if you have? Where do you find a goodness in this world? A goodness that seems possible despite everything.
Touch their hearts.
there's a more explicit setting of that same chapter in the Gospel of Luke that really focuses on the legend in the Bible, the New Testament. Legend has it that the angelic voices were celebrating the birth of one particular baby, Jesus of Nazareth, a child that was born to change the world. And this carol, unlike the last one, does focus on events in Bethlehem. Here's some context for what it's saying. The mighty Roman Empire of the time was extensive and highly militarized. It had long since conquered the Jewish land of Judea, and so Jews were living under Rome's oppressive rule. The Romans were engaged, as usual, in building, among other things, an extensive road network that would be beefy enough to support troops and equipment moving among locations. And this was, of course, very expensive. So, according to Luke, the Roman Emperor Caesar Augustus decreed that, and here's a bit of hubris, right? All the world should be taxed, by which he meant all the Roman Empire. So everyone in the Roman Empire was required to register in their city of birth, which often meant a great deal of travel. In the case of the as young unborn Jesus, his mother Mary and her husband Joseph had to leave Nazareth walking 90 hilly miles to Bethlehem, which you can't do today, incidentally, because of walls and things, in order to be counted and taxed. Never mind that Mary was hugely pregnant. Of course, people were sturdier then too, so there's that. They walked, and they walked, and they walked. And I suppose at night, they probably slept by the side of the road, like other travelers. And, well, when they finally arrived in Bethlehem, you know the story. Everyone was on the road. There was no lodging anywhere because everyone was traveling. And so finally they made do in a barn where Mary's baby was born and laid with what was available, which is mainly a food trough for livestock. The song we know of as Angels We Have Heard on High was derived from a French carol, and it was published around 1842 and later translated and paraphrased by the Reverend James Chadwick, an English Roman Catholic bishop. So let's go into Angels We Have Heard on High as a song of maybe a coming event that might destabilize imperial Rome, because Jesus was going to change the world, right? It's a thought. It's a thought. And why wouldn't you want to adore on bended knee someone who just might overthrow empire?
Yes.
Just saying. So our next to last carol, We Three Kings, was like all the other ones written in the mid-19th century. So there's something to consider. It's like all of these things that we're seeing were written in the mid-19th century or early 20th century. In this case, it was written in 1857 by an Episcopalian rector and seminary music teacher by the name of John Henry Hopkins, who composed it for a Christmas pageant. It too is drawn from the New Testament, although from a different gospel. And interestingly, these stories of Jesus' birth are different in Luke and in Matthew, because they either knew different things or paid a different attention to different things. Matthew gives this wonderfully detailed account of the wise men from the east who visited and paid homage to Jesus as a child, bringing him gifts of gold and frankincense and myrrh. The wise men, he says, had seen a star in the eastern sky. And based on prophecies from the Hebrew Bible, they are said to have said, a king of the Jews was about to be born in Bethlehem. Well, they landed in Herod's court, Herod Antipas, and Herod said, oh, really? Because Herod, while he was a Jew, he actually was a collaborator with the Romans, and he had very strict rule. And so he said, tell me more about this kid. And so they did, they told him, and they said, and he said, now where are you going? And they said, well, we're going to Bethlehem. And he said, note to self, thank you.
Note to self.
Yeah. Now, the star that the wise men followed probably wasn't exactly a star per se. It's maybe a comet or a conjunction of two or more bright planets. Jupiter and Saturn, and especially Jupiter and Venus, had a really bright convergence right at about 3 before the Common Era. Or less likely a supernova, less likely because it would be recorded in other places, and it wasn't. So some of the details found in Matthew's account, the number of travelers, their names, which are all very laid out in detail in some of these hymns, their possible royalty, they don't appear in Matthew, so that they're not actually biblical in origin, but, you know, such is the art of storytelling, right? It's a good story. So my question to you is this. Have you ever followed a star in the sky? What would call you to do that? Now, people have been using the stars to navigate for thousands of years, of course, but what, if anything, could cause you, or even better, your teenage children and grandchildren, to put down their devices and simply take off after a star? I mean, why would you do that? So this is something to think about. So let us start singing We Three Kings of Orient Are. We're just going to sing the first verse and the chorus a couple of times because we don't want to get into all the names and gifts and all that. You're welcome. magically transported from the desert sands and the Mediterranean and points east, all of that, traveling by foot, possibly camel, whooshing up to snowy northern places. Wikipedia claims, and it's gotta be true, that J.P. Morgan's Uncle James, Lord Pierpont, wrote Jingle Bells in 1850 in a Massachusetts tavern, and that it was originally written to be sung, and here I am quoting Wikipedia, by a Sunday choir for Thanksgiving or as a drinking song.
Nice.
So sleighs were kind of like a huge fancy cart with runners, you know, like skis, and in the mode of whooshing through the snow when pulled by horses. So let us now sing together in the mode of either a drinking song or a Sunday school choir or both. Jingle bells.
Awesome.
Well, thank you for singing, and thank you for considering what's being sung. And to our choir, oh my gosh.
Aren't we
You know,
wonderful?
I know your official name is the Unchoir, but I would like you to just be known as the choir. It's aspirational.
It is.
So-
My brain's working on it, but I don't know, I'm not there yet.
Well, let's settle and take a few breaths together. Wiggle your fingers and toes so that you know you still have a body. It's been a hard year in many ways, and a busy post-COVID year. I mean, a lot busier than it used to be because we got used to it not being so busy, right? And now we're kind of not wanting to go there. Many of us are just really wishing for peace. Peace in our hearts, peace in our families, peace in our communities, peace among the nations. So, we're going to show you an offering of the poem Silent Night, written in 1818 by a young Catholic priest by the name of Joseph Moore. He was living in the Austrian Empire in the aftermath of the Napoleonic Wars. So empire is sort of becoming a theme for these, yeah? The story goes that he was getting ready for the Christmas Eve Mass, and it had been raining a lot, the river had been flooding, and he went in to check out the room, and the organ had been affected. And it's Christmas Eve, I have to have music. So he whipped out this poem that he had, and he galloped over to a nearby town and asked his friend, Franz Gruber, who was the organist in that town, to compose a melody and a guitar accompaniment on the spot for that night's mass, which amazingly Gruber did, and we bow in deep gratitude to all of our musicians who are often called on to do things like this, and they always come through. So, bowing in gratitude. In this version that we'll now hear, Silent Night mixes onto another song, Peace on Earth, which is a relatively recent tradition mixing of these two. And you're, of course, welcome as always to join in the singing if and as you feel called. And if you don't, that's fine too. It's just beautiful to listen to. So whatever is your best mode, please do that. Thanks, Sally. Particularly nice to have the fire with the images of snow.
Let's get back to the dog, shall
I invite Catherine Hemmons up to lead our joys and concerns. You are invited.
Thank you, that was lovely, thoughtful, and joyous, all of it. This is the time of the ceremony where we do our joys and concerns, where we share what we need, how we need support, and also we share what joy is happening in our life. I mean, right now I see Jean and I see Maya, and I've had a lot of joy of seeing you here after whatever you have been journeying through the last few months. And so if you would like to share, please come up around here, this side. Sally will hand you the microphone, and then we end by dropping a shell in the cleansing water, giving it to the elements.
Hi there, I'm gonna put in 2 shells. The first shell is, I wanna thank Stanley. I was home for 17 days and she emailed me almost every day. Very positive, very loving, very supportive, and it really meant a lot to me, so thank you, Stanley. And the other thing is, my friend Cheryl appears to be actively dying. And I'm late this morning because she's scared and her heater broke, so I had to get a new heater. But at any rate, I'm asking you, just picture that Cheryl is relaxed and knows she's loved, and her fear lifts, and what comes to her is just knowing that she's a loving person who will always be taken care of, even after she crosses over. Thank you very much.
Good morning. I have a Christmas story that I'd like to share, and this is a true story. My mom loved Christmas. She would decorate the house with such joy, bouncing around, just so happy, weeks before. My stepdad, Roland, he would decorate the exterior of the house, and so when I would pull up to the house at nighttime, it would just be beautiful. My mom, her name was Vera, loved Christmas so much. Christmas morning, she would be like a little kid. Energy, just bubbly, eyes sparkling, just everything aglow, like that fireplace. My mom passed away in 2010, and my stepdad, Roland, passed away in 2015, and the family asked me if I would take their TV. I was living in a small apartment, and I had a big projection TV. Do you remember those? They're like this tall, this wide, and this wide. I mean, heavy as, moving people would take it. So the family really wanted me to take the TV, which I thought was very odd. It was like a 42-inch, standard flat screen. So I took it, thinking that's kind of weird because they had grandkids. I mean, they could have given it to someone, and I was living a couple hundred miles away at the time. So I took the TV back to my apartment, and I put it, the only place I could put it was where my Christmas tree went. And this was early December. So I put it where my Christmas tree goes. I had no other room for it. And I was talking to a friend that weekend, and I said, I don't think I'm gonna get a Christmas tree this year because I don't have any room for it. And when I said that, it felt really weird coming out of me. It felt strange, almost wrong, almost just very strange. So a day or two later, I talked to a friend of mine who worked for Seeds of Hope, which is a organization that helps people down and out. And I asked him if he would know anybody that would want my projection TV. The only caveat is they have to move it themselves. A day or so later, he came up to me and said he found somebody. And I said, great. So what I did was, of course, I cleared a path, because when you're moving furniture or anything that big, you've got to clear a path and get things out of the way. Plus,
We don't need it.
We don't need
We don't need it. We don't need it.
okay. So these people came over, and I cleared a path, and I of course had the TV moved over closer and plugged in to make sure that they knew it was working before they moved it. And also the person that was going to buy it, I wanted to show her how it worked. This woman came in, and you could tell she had been through some times. And I showed her how it worked, and she started crying. She started kind of shaking. And I said, are you okay? I reached over, touched her hand. She goes, this is going to be the best Christmas I've had for years. And she started crying. Reached over to her and I said, what's your name? Her name was Vera. That's my mom's name. So next day, I went out and bought a Christmas tree. That's my Christmas story.
I love those stories.
I'm gonna put these 2 shells in honor of Ray and Judy. Yay. And in for Vera
And
and
Roland.
Renee.
Yes, okay. Thank you.
My shout out this morning is to Judy and Ray.
Woo!
They had the whole church over to their house for a Christmas party. That was fantastic and lovely, and thank you so much.
Yes.
It's so good to see you all again. I didn't know if I could make it. Every Saturday I said, I'm feeling pretty good. All right. Get the clothes out, take a shower the night before. And I got up this morning and I'm going. That's it, I'm going. So I went back to bed and I didn't take a shower. I'm here. Yay! All your beautiful faces and being in Fook again just means so much to me.
I want to be here whole. Completely. Yeah, I want to thank you I just had my right hip replaced. And I'm doing, okay. And I'm doing amazingly well. I'm 3.5 weeks out. And the support, both physical, helping me drive places, do things, people stepping up, even people I hardly knew did too, in our community, so wonderful. And I feel the remote, just good thoughts that support me too. I'm doing great, and I'm full of gratitude, and I'm so encouraged by the example that we are. And I know this happens all over the planet. Community takes care of each other. The love and kindness here is astounding to me. Thank you so much. I'm so grateful.
Hi. Hi. I am so very grateful to be here today. I spent a week in the hospital this last week, and I had a little intestinal blockage, but it worked itself out. Yay, God. Yay, God. So I'm just very, very grateful to be here, and very grateful to be part of this community, because you guys are my family, truly are my family. Thank you.
I'd like to drop a shell. I want to drop a shell for my spouse, Jennifer. It's good to see you here. I'm sorry I can't sit with you, but I got a job. I know, I see her so little, I call her the mystery woman all the time.
Sorry about that. That's okay. At least you said it.
You woke the dog up.
And the last shell for the people that we don't know, the people that are sitting somewhere, especially around the holiday season, and they don't know how to reach out. They don't know who even to go to. But we hold them in the circle of our love and our heart, because that's what we do. We expand out from here, not just here, all of Florence and all of the country. Our love is that big. And for those who are really having a really fun time and couldn't make it here today, and they're thinking of us. I want to say something about the two labyrinths that I attended that were offered to us in the last week. So to celebrate, the darkest hour. They were both so moving and and thoughtful, and we were all there thinking, okay, how do we come out of this dark? We are the light. So I've been reading this Ram Dass Still Here over again. As you can see, I've read it probably 10 times. I'd like to say something about this, because it is coming out of the dark into the light. How do we do this? And this is about aging, changing, all of that. How can we as aging people make our wisdom felt in the world? By embodying wisdom, by becoming it. We can find a happy balance between participation and retreat from the dark to the light, participation and retreat to the dark. Remembering that as while it is our duty to be of service if possible, it is also important that we prepare our own journey into whatever comes next through contemplation, quiet time, and deepening knowledge of ourselves. Aware of how we are addicted to our external reinforcement that we are doing something. Just take a moment this season to be with the quiet and let our light just come forth naturally, gradually, beautifully. And so it is.
I don't know if y'all noticed, but that dog is moving.
I know.
Not much.
Very comfy.
All of us old dogs.
This poem was written by Reverend Dr. Rebecca Parker, who for 25 years was the president of Starr King School for the Ministry, one of our 2 Unitarian Universalist Identity seminaries. Dr. Parker is an accomplished poet and cellist and many other things, but she says she's better at theology than those other things, so that's why she decided to become a minister. This is called A Christmas Prayer with 7 words.
We remember the Magi, observers of stars, evidence-based seekers who found their way to kneel before a baby.
May we too kneel before life's intricate mysteries, following the path of science-based searchers for truth.
We remember Mary, birth mother of a revolutionary prophet, the fetus in her womb a surprise, her choice a decision to magnify her hope, the birth difficult, attended by a beautiful diversity of animals and a ragtag gathering of vulnerable people.
May we too kneel at the cradle of Earth's dreams for peace and dedicate ourselves to revolutionary love.
We remember Joseph, unexpected father, who embraced the baby as his own, believing that every child has a God-given entitlement to love and care.
May we too stand by the women and the children of this land when patriarchal privilege and power threaten their freedom and put their well-being at risk.
We remember the angels singing in the cold night to the overtaxed poor, promising peace and goodwill to all. May we echo their song in acts of solidarity and justice for all souls, refugee souls, green souls, disabled souls, black souls, young souls, transgender souls.
May we join the bold, holy movement to bring heaven to earth.
May the morning star brighten our hope for a new day, and may laughter strengthen all our prayers.
Isn't it great to listen to Edie read?
Yes.
Oh my goodness. Well, really today as the days begin to lengthen and the moon is all but full on Tuesday, maybe there's really not much more to say than that. May the morning star brighten our hope for a new day, And may laughter strengthen all our prayers. May we kneel before life's intricate mysteries and dedicate ourselves to revolutionary love. That's a love that includes everybody. Everybody. No one is left out. So today, can we begin again to honor Earth's shared dreams of peace? Peace in our hearts, peace in our families, peace in our communities, and peace in the world. It begins in every heart. Or it doesn't. I say, let us indeed join that bold, holy movement to bring heaven to earth. And let it be said, not without laughter. For joy, in these times, joy is a revolutionary act. Empires everywhere, through all time, operate to make people fearful and angry and full of hate. Don't buy it.
Amen.
Dedicate yourself to a revolutionary love that does include everyone, including yourselves. This is not sentimental love. This is gritty love, the real deal. This is love despite everything. Sometimes it takes all that you are. But then kneel down in amazed gratitude before life's intricate mysteries, including so many things. I know that you have many things that could be in your minds. Feel free to shout them out. For me, the mystery of other beings, dogs, cats, trees, dolphins, tomato plants, sometimes even other humans who take us into their lives, despite everything, despite all that we do, despite all that we've done. How can we not be humbled by this? How can we not kneel at the feet of all that is and cry grateful tears for all that we receive? And then pay it forward. You see how it becomes a circle? For better or for worse, in sickness and in health, in wealth or in poverty, the truth is we are all connected together, all of us. That includes all of our non-human relations. We are connected in mysterious ways. And then the miracle, when we let something new be born inside ourselves. Something new. Join me in a time of musical meditation to consider what is being born in you this Christmas season.
pleasure to be able to discuss our offering, shall we say. So we're not like, this is not unlike any other Sunday. We do ask for an offering. We ask for an offering for our community partner, which is Florence Food Share. And we have a basket in the back that we're always taking donations for, canned goods, packaged goods, for families in need, including animals. So if you can do that any Sunday, bring your food items with you. If not, we're going to be taking a collection of your hard-earned money, if you have some today. And that money will go to Food Share to help buy products, fill the pantry. And for those who don't know about Food Share, please see any one of us, and we will tell you all about this organization. We also take an offering for our particular fellowship, for without your contributions and pledge payments of support, we wouldn't be here. And we want to be here for a long time, right? We've been here for 20, we want to be here for another 20 or 40. So at this time, let there be an offering to sustain and strengthen this place, which is sacred to so many of us, a community of memory and hope, for we are now the keepers of the dream. So as the basket comes around, you have an opportunity, if you so wish, to contribute to the fellowship and one to Food Share. If the basket comes to you and you're not able to give today, that's just fine. There's no pressure. Just pass the basket to the next person with all the love that you can muster. And I ask that you repeat after me as we begin this. Divine love through me.
Divine love through me.
Blesses and multiplies all that I am.
Blesses and multiplies all that I am.
All that I give.
All that I give.
And all that I receive.
And all that I receive.
I am prosperous now.
I am prosperous now.
Blessed be.
Blessed be.
Thanks, Julie.
Oops.
Wasn't too much there yet.
Thank you, Jeff. Wonderful music. We thank you for your spiritual practice of giving and loving. Your contributions and love are received in grateful appreciation. So I invite Stanley and Jesse to the podium. We're going to have one surprise something.
Snap, snap.
Snap, snap. So, one more sing-along, okay?
Okay.
Stand
We're
on the side
good.
just so
Okay.
people can see.
All right. By special request of our very own FOOF UU Animal Ministry coordinator, this song is one of Pogo's versions of the song that we began with, Deck Us All with Boston Charlie. Okay, so Pogo was the main character in Walt Kelly's daily comic strip from 1948 to 1975. It was set in the Okefenokee Swamp of the southeastern United States and featured a cast of more than 24 animals, including Pogo Possum, an easygoing common person philosopher who claimed no special status. But boy, did Pogo have a following, I'm here to tell you. Tens of thousands were in deep mourning when Walt Kelly's death brought an untimely end to the gems of wisdom scattered abundantly throughout the downright silliness of the swamp. Okay, ready?
Are we ready?
Yeah, we're ready. Here we go. The words are on the screen.
Maybe, yes.
Wait.
I'm trying to get it bigger, but I
Yep.
can't.
Can you get bigger?
I have to start over again. Start this over again. Your tech person is not really that.
We're gonna try to start it over again, so
With that,
Sally can
I
get
don't
it on
wanna
the
share,
full
I don't wanna
screen.
close it.
Yep. How many of you remember Pogo, out of curiosity? Okay, yep, all right, good.
We're getting there. We're gonna try.
You got it, Sally.
We're gonna try again.
Who does that to you?
There we go. There we go. You got it. Come on, give me the full.
There we go.
There we go.
All right, Randy, we're gonna start it over. Go.
1, 2, 1, 2, 3.
Boston Charlie, Walla Walla Wash in Kalamazoo. Doors freezing on the trolley, swallow dog, crawl, fried run Oh, we know archaic barrel, lullaby, little boy, little blue. Trolley, molly, don't love Harold, hula, hula, Pensacola. All bow wows of folly, holly wally, donkey bonny praise a carol, antelope, cantaloupe, lope with you. Hungry Dory's poppins molly, gagging on the wagon, really roll through. Charlie Johnny's bark sad barrel, Charlie Sam,
Am I stopping? Oh. We're stopping?
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah. Am I up again? What am I doing now? I'm extinguishing the chalice, but I thought maybe I would play this while we're extinguishing. Okay. Maybe I'll do this one. And then Karen, you'll be up for the next one.
We have announcements though, right?
We do. We're gonna extinguish the chalice flame. Do I get Don to come back up here, or can Karen, oh, Don can do this, Don can do it. Don is a good guy. These words, we love to close with these extinguishing words. As we extinguish our chalice flame, let us remember we do not extinguish the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again. Yes.
Standing here looking at it, it reflects, and I kept looking, I said, look like I got more than one flame to put out.
It's time to sit down.
Anybody ever been to camp and they go announcements. Here we go. Okay, so.
Too many years. 25 years.
Okay, tomorrow we are hosting a potluck at noon. Bring a dish to share or just come and enjoy what others are providing. Happy birthdays to Ashley Page today and Diane Gibson tomorrow. Friday. Relax into Bliss with Maggie Miller and Deborah Jordan on Saturday at 3 p.m. Details will be on the e-newsletter. Next Sunday is our annual Burning Bowls ceremony with Reverend Hemmons. And we're having a dance party starting at 6. The doors open at 6. Dancing is going from 6:30 to 8:30, I understand.
Yes.
And then, of course, there's cleanup. So, come
On
and join us.
Sunday? What date, Karen?
Sunday.
New Year's Eve.
New Year's Eve.
Thank you.
And let's see. And Darlene Norwood starts the new year off with birthday on January 1. So we'll wish her a happy birthday next Monday. Any other announcements?
Yes.
So I just want to remind you about the sock drive. We started it a little later this year, but Judy and I were talking and we're going to expand it. So socks, gloves, maybe scarves, nothing really big, but those things sound good and doable. We're going to do it until at least New Year's because, you know, the season of giving doesn't end like at Christmas. And we can gather more things. So the sock is over there, it's hanging up in the cafe. And last year we filled that thing almost twice all the way. So, you know, just think about it.
No pressure.
Well, it's not pressure, but it's just a reminder. Also, I'm leading the Burning Bowl ceremony next week, as Karen said. I want you to start, all of you to start thinking about it. It's not, you know, you can make it personal to you. Not just, a New Year's resolution, it can be that. But what is keeping you from being your true self? What is keeping you from walking into the next stage, whatever it is? What's keeping you in suffering? What's keeping you from joy? Anything like that, you know, that is personal to you. Make this yours. Thank you. Oh, and I'll provide, you know, utensils, pencils and paper and everything to write on, so thank you.
Any other remark?
Yeah, Celtic Holiday Music Session this Thursday from 6 to 8 o'clock at the Laughing Crab.
Ooh, Laughing Crab, 6 to 8 Thursday.
Yeah.
If you want to enjoy some good Celtic music, it's really fun to go down and listen to Mark and his group. Any other announcements? Seeing that, I will turn it back over to Jesse.
May the words of our mouths, the meditations of our hearts, the work of our hands, and the play of our bodies be in all ways ever a blessing to this world. And this Christmas, may we each discover this sense of being a beloved and necessary part of all that is. Know that. Please join us in the cafe for light refreshments and fellowship, and I do hope you'll join Foofers tomorrow for a special potluck at noon. Whether or not you bring food is not important. Just be here with us. And if you will now rise and form a circle around the chairs and our podium to sing